Hello Handler Helpers, it's me, Monster Handler Tyson, and welcome to Season 2 of Quick Questions, the show where we answer your burning questions about the monster world. Maybe questions like, is Tweedle the actual size of an ostrich? And well, I would say...
yes.
Now, let's get into our first question, shall we? Now, this first person brings up how Thrumble has claws very similar to some animals in the human world that are good at digging and climbing and all sorts of things. And they're wondering if they do similar things like these animals or if they use their claws for something completely different, in which I would say, yes, they actually do very similar things because Thrumbles are very good at climbing. They share many similarities with the human world's three-toed sloth, as they both share 3 long clawed fingers and actually move quite alike as well. But Thrumbles are much quicker. Even though a Thrumble's neck can naturally elongate to survey its surroundings, it does like to climb in order to get the best vantage point. Common Thrumbles do have an additional helpful edge for climbing compared to their rare and epic counterparts, as their feet act as a natural suction cup to aid them if they are climbing something maybe a little too sheer. Although their suction cup feet are nowhere nearly as developed as Scups. This next question asks, how are bone elementals able to live? Are their insides inside their bones, or are they just together because of magic because they're magical monsters? And does this apply to Bon Appetit, the Wublin? Alright, so bones in the human world mostly contain calcium and bone marrow, which if you didn't know is where your blood cells come from. Like in the human world, bones represent the foundation and structure of many singing monsters' bodies, including the bone elementals. But how those bones interact with their other bodily systems is difficult for us to understand. Maybe some monsters do have their insides stuffed in their bones, working like an exoskeleton. Maybe others do have flesh, but it's invisible or not perceivable to our eyes. Now, how does this all work? Magic, of course. Bone is a magical element. As for Bon Appetit, seeing how it's a synthetic being created by Wubox, it is safe to say that it's the element of electricity that is coursing through it that powers its essence. Now, to say Bon Appetit has no internal systems is probably wrong, but I can confirm that they work much differently than the bone elementals. This next question asks, are Screamew's branches actually attached to them, and if so, do they make them uncomfortable? Now, I can confirm that Screamew does have them attached, but they are perfectly comfortable, so do not fret, though the branches do serve another purpose. You see, Screamews actually don't have ears, so they can't hear what pitch they are singing at. So they use vibrations from their branches to determine which pitch they are on. For example, if they sing at a low pitch, the lower branch slightly vibrates, which indicates to them what pitch they are on. Additionally, like furcorns, Screamews are actually quite jumpy, so they don't like when other Wublins sneak up on them, so their branches act as another sense in a way to make sure that no one or no thing are sneaking up on them. Our next question is common Wubox on water island weaker than its on-land counterparts? In which the answer is no, they are actually just as strong. Living ocean water does not have the same effect on technology as human world water would. So you can drop your phone in the living ocean 100 times and it will not break. I would not recommend trying this in the human world though, no matter how waterproof your phone says it is. Our next question asks, are Epic Bogart's horns edible, and are the puddles they stand in drinkable? Now, for those of you who do not know, Bogarts that stand in melted ice cream puddles actually turn into Epic Bogarts because of the sugar rush. Quoting our Monster Handler journals, the composition of Epic Bogart's horns is altered at a chemical level, growing into gnarled up spires until they break off like peanut brittle. Note the word like. Now, they may break like peanut brittle, but that does not mean they are edible. As for the melted ice cream puddles they stand in, they are drinkable, I guess, but it would probably be more enjoyable frozen in a cone. This next question asks, are Snider and Flugal related because they both produce sound using their nose? Now, there must be some sort of common DNA in there because, as you pointed out, both fire monsters make use of their snouts to produce their music. Another trait that unites these two is that, especially in their youth, their noses cause them to be overly snotty and sniffly, so having a tissue or a soft leaf nearby is always essential. So other than that and their fire elemental heritage, Snider and Flugal aren't especially closely related. Okay, so this next question asks, is ToeJammer actually a ethereal? Now, in the season 1 finale of Quick Questions, I did say that ToeJammer was a water ethereal. Our next question is, how does ToeJammer make its sound? Now, as a water ethereal, it has a... Is that true? No, because I meant to say water elemental. Moving on. This next question asks, if Pom Poms aren't removable, then how did they get them? Well, Pom Poms, try saying that 10 times fast, actually grow within the egg with them. They act as additional cushions for the little monsterling to make sure they are extra protected in their egg. Once they hatch, Pom Pom then repurposes these cushions into Pom Poms to make sure all the monsters around them notice their moves and cheer. This next question asks, how much food does N-Brat eat in a day? N-Brats eat roughly 641 pounds of treats in a day. So imagine if you ate 320 and a half whole pizzas in a day all to yourself. That is what an N-Brat does. But always remember that treats in the monster world are actually high in nutrition, so do not worry because N-Brat is nice and healthy. Our final question asks, did Galvana program in Wubbox the need to collect data outside of the monster world to become rare Wubbox? Now, Galvana did not program this into Wubbox because over time, the Wubbox's AI began to simply crave adventure and wanted to learn more about the worlds in the ever-expanding multiverse. All right, Handler Helpers, that concludes the episode 1 of season 2 of Quick Questions. If you do have any questions that you might want to get answered in the next episode, please leave them in the comments down below. And as always, happy monstering!